I am Sure Sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy, 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 boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that mean me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that mean me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that mean me not say it. Know who score, that mean me not say it. Never know no game play, that mean me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Jamaican herbs and spices add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
All right, greetings and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I'm your host, Manning's Man. Yeah, let me get things up, running, and straight. Now, you know we are sticklers to time, and so at 12:45 we were scheduled to have an interview with Mr. Neville Oxford. But sometimes when we are more mature in ages, the time and the stuff get missed. So he at 12:45. I at 12:45, he at 2:45. All right. So at 2:45, we should have been doing a preview of the El Salvador versus Jamaica game. So we are going to edit our thumbnail, and right now we're going to discuss the game between Jamaica and El Salvador. So welcome to the channel. Welcome. Good afternoon to you. Hope you're having a great day. We just completed our NFL show. And so this is going to be a good show. We have some news to share with you coming out of El Salvador with the Reggae Boys. Just what is happening in the camp. Some of you would have heard Leon Bailey's comment. What are your thoughts? So we await people to come in, then we'll big up our sponsors. And yeah. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the comments made by Leon Bailey? Concerning Coach Whitmore. Yep. Come on in, people. Let us get some comments. We're going to have some giveaway as well on today's show. So somebody is going to be a lucky winner. A lucky winner today. Yep. Somebody is going to win something really, really big today. Yeah. So let's see. Let me know. Let's look at what would be your starting 11 for the Jamaica versus El Salvador game. Projected starting 11. Not Coach Theodore Whitmore starting 11, but our starting 11. What would we? I see a victory. What do you see? I see Jamaica winning this game. Um, yep. Oh, I see Coach Miller here as well. Coach Miller, how you doing, man? Yeah. Hope you're doing well, Coach Miller. But what are your thoughts on the comments made by Leon Bailey? He shared his position concerning Coach Theodore Whitmore. That he thinks he is the man for the job at this time, and he's a good coach. Yeah. What say you? He's a man for the job, and he's a good coach. What say you? I agree. I agree that at this time it would not be the best interest of the team for the coach to be changed at this time. Right? So I do agree that, yeah, that Coach Whitmore, according to Leon Bailey, at this time is the man for the job. Well, he basically, what Leon Bailey shared, for those of you who don't know, is that he believes that Coach Tupper is a good coach, and he also believes that Coach Theodore Whitmore is, the man for the job at this time, meaning he should not be changed. But I want to commend the JFF because they also got some things right for this trip. I'm going to pin the link as well. So if you want to join the panel for this particular show, remember we had to make some adjustments. So if you want to join the show, you can join the show at this time and share your thoughts. I'm going to pin the link for the show so you can join the show and be a part of the discussion. All right. So let's get those things. Yeah. I agree with you, Coach Miller. And I think one of the things I'm learning, people, is that we need to be we have to, I think sometimes we speak from a place of little or no information, and we make arguments without merit or any basis, right? I think we do that a lot of times. We make a lot of arguments and we don't have any, there is no substantial. Yeah, man, Fresh God, I got it. I got that. Yeah, man, bless up Chaddy Hines. Yeah. And too often I think we have lengthy discussions and debate, but the truth is there is no real substance or value to the argument because we don't have anything. No, because my question now is for all of the people who are saying, if one of the top players, because most of us would agree that one of the top players in the team is Leon Bailey, and he comes out in support of the coach, it really, some of the arguments that some of us would have been making seem like a waste of time, because we would want to, many of us thought or even have said that the players don't have any respect for the coach and lost respect for the coach. But we don't hear these things in their utterances. When they speak in support of the coach. And I always say this, we may not agree with certain decisions and like how certain things are done. But I guarantee you this as well. I can guarantee you that if all of us today, were to select a starting 11 without looking at each other's paper or typings, most of those starting 11 would be different. Right? So here's what I'm saying again. Watch this, if you and I were to select starting 11, here is what we would select: different starting 11s. The thought is there is no way that the coach can select all the different starting 11. So he has to select who he believes will be best enough to get the job done. They say hindsight is 2020. And when all is said and done, when the results are not favorable, all of us can come and say, if this were done and if that were done. But when you look at some of the starting 11s that people would select, really and truly, like I remember the Panama game is a good example. The starting 11 that people selected in Panama before the game was probably the starting 11 that played. When the game was finished, everybody was saying they should not have played. So we don't know what's happening in training. We only hear things. And remember, like a lot of people say, well, players have said and this have said. Listen, even what you hear sometimes is a person's interpretation, because most times people don't carry complete messages unless it is written down and signed by the person who sent the message. So when a man tell you that him hear or him see or this is what happened, he's speaking based on his understanding or interpretation of something. He's not speaking in reality. So let me get a couple of these comments. In my opinion, that shows me nothing that he's a good coach. I rest my case and I will never back him. That's fine. Listen, yeah, which is cool. Right, listen. It is okay. Let me say it this way. It is okay for people, you have a right to determine which coach you support or not. However, that don't determine the coach's quality. Let me say it again. You may not rate a coach, but whether you rate the coach or not has nothing to do with his quality or his ability. All right? Many people didn't rate Arsene Wenger. Many people. It has nothing to do with his quality or ability. So it's okay not to rate Tapa, and say he, in your opinion, he's not a good coach. But if the facts don't support that, then does it make sense? Right? I see Chadsy Hines saying Tom drunk, but Tom the fool. But here's the thing, Chadsy Hines. None of the players have really come out publicly or in any. Every time you hear that player say X, Y, and Z, is hearsay from hearsay from hearsay. They can't be validated, Do you realize that a lot of the things that we have heard in these spaces are they have not been supported by evidence when it comes on to the coach. And let me tell you, there's a disingenuousness. Let me say, disingenuous. People are being disingenuous in a lot of things. For example, this trip has less what you call persons from delegation traveling. I don't hear people speak about that. This trip, the team has gone out earlier, and people are still finding other things to criticize. This time around, from all indication, all the players seem to be gelling. and everything seemed to be fine. And we're still not having conversations about those things. But let something wrong goes on and see how we double down on that. So we need to have some balance in the conversation, man. Right? So I see Dr. Gigi St. Billy talking like a politician. All right, so here is where, like Chadzians, I can agree with you, that there's no consistency, and that's the biggest problem for Tupper. I can agree with you, right? Right? I can agree with you that there is that issue. The issue of consistency. Is it consistency in selection or consistency in play? Because the truth is, if you're not provided with the same set of players consistently, then it's probably going to be hard for you to get consistency in how the team plays. So we need to look at it. How often have players been unavailable? Like, it is not, and listen, I'm not out here in defense unjustly of any one side of the argument, but how injured has Leon Bailey been, right? And not been available. There have been occasions where certain players can come. So some of the situations surrounding the team is not really about the coach's inability. All right? Right? It's not about the coach's inability to get the team to play consistently. It is about the whole system, including the federation, not consistently getting the team that the coach want in time for the games. So that's part of the problem. All right, then the Chin is saying, Tupper results wrong with all coaches who previously coached the side. That speaks volume, and we had a few. All right. Yeah, Fresh God. The delegation has decreased from the last time significantly in terms of the traveling party and stuff, right? I don't know what is the cause of that, but based on those who are there and those who are still left in Jamaica, right? So Mannings, man, what the bird's telling me about the coach? I still get to the birds. All right. Coach Jere, not being negative, but gelling off the field is helpful. But at the same time, different from what is needed on the field. What we need is gelling on the pitch. And we can only get that in one way. What is that one way? By being consistent in the team selection. No, man, here's the thing, Fresh God. You know me already. I defend players. I defend players. I defend administration, and I defend coaches when they have a reason to. But I also will speak with the same eagerness, forcefulness when they are wrong. What I will not do is be imbalanced or unbalanced in my opinion. If when a coach wins, like if when a coach wins, we criticize him, and when a coach loses, we criticize him, I think there's a level of imbalance in that kind of a dialogue. We must be able to stop and look and say, listen, you know what? We have to give credit for that. When someone is going to say that Leon Bailey is being political. I spoke with Craig Butler last night, and he said it. He said he doesn't want Tapa to lose the job. No, he said it. He said it. He's not in agreement for Tapa to be fired, no. So I don't think Leon Bailey's position is being politically correct. No, listen. Even all right, like all right. I don't want to go to Manchester United too much. So let's talk about Manchester United. I remember Manchester United they were giving David Moyes a hard time. Every manager since Alex Ferguson, they have given a hard time. They have given David Moyes a hard time, Van Gaal a hard time, Mourinho a hard time, and Ole a hard time. And at some point, you guys going to have to stop and ask yourself, like, did you get it wrong with David Moyes? Did you get it wrong with Van Gaal? Will you get it wrong with Ole? Chadzian says two of the main problems are transparency and consistency surrounding team selection and starting 11. Well, what I can say to you, Chad, is I agree with you that there should be some, I don't know, because the team selection is transparent, you know. What you don't get is an explanation concerning persons who you may think should be, because that's what it is, you know. Because Chadsy Hines, you may think, for example, that Jamal Lowe may be in the team. And next person may think Jamal Lowe should not be in. So what would be transparent? Right? Jerry Miller says players have to play together consistently in order to build chemistry. So now the coach, hands are tied as he now has more top players to select from. What fans want is to put them all in. Exactly. So here's the thing. The same person who says we need consistency in the team, if with more players, the same team he played against El Salvador, he's going to cuss him. But the same person will say we need to be consistent. How many of you would be happy to see the same starting 11 that played against Honduras start against El Salvador? People complain and say, why Mikel Antonio not start? Why Leon Bailey not start? Why? But we want consistency. So could it be that we want consistency that fits our preferences? In other words, we prefer this player, so we break the rule of consistency to fit this player into the team. We say we want consistency, but if Damari Gray turns up for the next window, we want him to start, but we say we want consistency. So do we really want consistency, but still yet to want more players to come in? Once you're, so what do we really want? What do we really want? We're gonna soon get to that, right? All right, so ain't this top a second World Cup qualifying as coach? If yes, what football style? Man, you see. All right. Again, you see, football language is all right. So, all right. I would have to ask some questions, because when I talk about football style, like if I were to ask somebody what is Brazil's football style, what would they tell me? Like the Brazil team playing in the qualifiers now. What is the identity? Like how do you do that? Like, what is the identity of Manchester United? like this is the thing. Like to answer some of these questions, I have to understand. When you say style, is it how the players play or how the team play consistently? Or or is football now more dynamic? Where depending on who you play a different style. Whether you're playing home or away, you play a different style. When we say style, like give me an example of a style of play that is consistent with a particular team. Where's a fresh guy? In my book, if a player individually produces a moment of brilliance, I will never praise a coach or any coach on that. But the coach have to select the players, you know, and put and play them in particular positions. All right. I'm taking comments today, you know, because these are some very good ones, right? Here's this one. Butler also talk like politician, and we all know. All right, so here's the truth, though. Here's the thing. Again, if Leon had come out and said Whitmore is not a good coach, we would say that is truth. But if he says the man is a good coach, it is political. So again, is it that we want the narrative to fit what we already believe? In other words, we have no respect for the coach. We don't think the coach is good. So anybody who says the coach is good, something is wrong with them. The only persons who are accurate is the person who say exactly what we already believe. Which means that we are the authority when it comes down to the truth about the coach. Because most of us, anybody who says Tapa good, you know, is a problem, you know. We have a problem with them. Why we are right and the other people are wrong? Why if Leon says Tapa is good, he's being political? But if he said Tapa was bad, all of us would say, yeah man, a long time we know Leon. Why? So, very good. Hey, listen, Coach Miller, me pin the link, man. Come on and join me for a minute now, man. I'm also Coach Miller. So let me ask now. Chadsy Hines, Dr. GG, Fresh God, you say that we need consistency. This is the question I want all of you guys to answer. How many changes to the last team would you make for the game against El Salvador? How many changes? So let's talk consistency. How many changes would you make? Yeah, I agree. Press conferences should be a must. All right. I see, Jeremy, same team for me, maybe just Bailey for Fleming, maybe Hacker out and Ravel, just those two changes for now. All right, Fresh God. All right, Fresh God has answered. Bless up Owen. Coach Miller said that you take out 3 to the 11 from the last game, 1 from each block. I agree with that. I'm going to give you. Brazil system changing gradually. There you go. Oh, Manchester United have at least one thing with you, Fresh God. You're honest about your team. Big up 1-1. Yeah. The style is how the team play consistently. Yeah, but if you don't have the same set of players to play with, how you going to build that consistency? So this is a very good question to ask. All right, so 94-98, I could pick the starting 11 and possibly the changes, and that wasn't because of lack of competition for spots in the team. But that is what we keep saying. What the dynamics have changed. So a lot of times, a lot of the people are not available, and who come, don't come, all kind of things. So we keep, and I respect what happened in 1998. But do you know that in 1998, those who played in the World Cup campaign, all of them were living together, especially in the last round. Right? So let us, to develop an identity, we need consistency. Yeah, thanks for, yeah, man, all the way from Mexico. Emir Reyes, bless up, man. Thanks for joining. Yeah. So someone is saying tactics is what you change based on your opponent. So, but what is style of play? So if you're saying I just change my tactics, so if I'm playing low block, is that a style of play or that is a tactics? So what is the tactics in a low block system? Or what is, if I'm playing high press, is that tactics or is that style of play? If I play counter attack, is that style of play or is that tactics? All right. Did we expect Leon to say otherwise? The guy is about to play a game. Okay. Okay. Well, I've heard Leon say other things, and I've never heard Leon in any public spaces when he have spoken said anything otherwise, even when he wasn't in the squad and he has spoken. I'm telling you. Right? So I have to take him for his word, and I don't believe he's being political. I know him personally. He speaks his, you don't know this, but he will speak his opinion. I don't know. So let me ask you again. Okay? We cannot play attacking football with this coach. We have to continue to park the bus and hope to score. All right, let's see what will happen. I mean, will you guys be willing to come and admit that we got it wrong? Craig Butler is unhappy with some of the things that Whitmore is doing, but he says this: I still believe Whitmore is, he has consistently, you find one time when you say that you're here, Craig Butler say Whitmore should be fired now. So he has consistently said it, and Leon has consistently said this, and you're saying that he has always been political because he has always said that Tapa needed to be in the job. He has never yet said, even when he was upset, he said that if we don't qualify, he never said the coach. He said the JFF. But somehow we have this idea that he has a problem with the coach. All right. Joseph Brown, you have to go and watch the video, man. Kareem Grant is saying Tapa is a good coach. It is his man management. All right. All right. One will say that if I was picking the team, I would make enough changes. But this coach that can't convey simple messages and only knows how to park the bus, best we keep most. All right. So 1-1. You would make enough. So how your team gonna play? Be consistent if you make enough changes. Like, I don't agree with you, 1-1. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with making a lot of changes. Yes, I would make some changes. How many changes would you make? How many changes would you make? How many changes would you make? Blake, I see, all right. One person says 3. I see here, David saying Blake, Lawrence, Lowmore, Fisher, Speedy, Grant, Bailey, Bowser, Antonio. And that's 1, 2, 3 changes. 3 changes. That's good, David. I think this is consistency. I think this is consistency. You make a defensive change, you make a midfield change, you make an offensive change. All right. For me, I believe Dr. Oh, okay. Doctor is saying that he would keep a winning team. All right, cool. All right, and then Wayne Evans is saying Ravel, Antonio, Ravel, and Bailey. But do you know that? All right, if you bring in Antonio, you're saying you're going to replace Bowser. If you bring in Bailey, you're replacing Fleming. If you bring in Ravel, who you're replacing? You're going to drop Kemar Roof? Because I don't see how you're going to keep him. Watson out. There you go. Watson out for more. Ravel, Antonio, Bailey Moore. Those changes at the most, maybe 2 or 3 would be better for that group. Yeah, I think like if you say, okay, Moore goes into center back. You keep Speedy and Grant. You say you can drop Fleming, bring on Bailey. Yeah. I personally I like Roof as a player. I think he's coming into form in the national team, so I will find a way to start him. I know that some people are saying that drop Roof and bring in. I would keep Roof in the side, but I know most people are having Roof out of the team. You see, this is a different side again. This looks like a 4-4-2. David Nicholson, you're playing a 4-4-2. No, all right. I don't know. Well, so let me ask again. If what was Mourinho's style when he was at Chelsea? What was his style of play? What was his style of play? When Mourinho was having those good years at Chelsea, when people were saying that he was parking the bus, what was his style of play? If that was his tactics, what was his style of play? All right, so we have been terrible so far. So when people say consistent, we want to be like we were in the other games. When you're playing, do you want consistency or something? Something different? Okay, but it's bad. You're just playing with words. What playing with words? Teamwork. Teamwork is all about understanding each other and doing what the coach requires. Yeah, but chat is not playing with words. Teamwork. To have all I'm saying, Chad Zehan, is that to have consistency, the same group of players have to be playing the same way for a long time. All I'm saying is that we have not had the opportunity to do that because we have had some by administration, some by players. So 3 things have affected our consistency. Administrative errors, I would say the coaches' selection errors, and player unavailability for different reasons. So we have not been able. All right, so I'm going to give you a very good example. And most of you don't check this. Do you know that Jamaica is a team that have had the most changes? Go and check the records. In other words, for many different reasons, we have had the most interchanging of personnel. Honduras has kept the same set of players. Panama, El Salvador, Canada, and then second to us is Mexico, and then the USA. And the difference is far. In other words, because of these three things, administrative error, some poor, what I call coach's decision, and player unavailability, Jamaica, I don't believe in the early stages was able to have consistency. I am hoping now that we are on a little run. We have the core of some of the players back in the team, that we can start developing some consistency, because this is the last game in the first round. But before this, it would have been very difficult to develop consistency in the playoff. The consistency should have been developed during the Gold Cup. And that is where I think the problem is. When many players were not available for whatever reason for the Gold Cup. Okay. Most people are saying 2 to 3 changes for this game. Yeah, like Owen, I would make changes. I think Coach Miller said it best. I'll make a change in defense. I am bringing Liam Moore in my team. So I would bring in Liam Moore, because I'm playing the 4 at the back against El Salvador. So I'm bringing in Liam Moore, and I'm keeping Damian Lowe. Kemar Lawrence stays in the team. You know, Blake stays in the team. At right back, I am going with Mariappa, because I want to be more offensive. So I'm putting Mariappa there. So the one change in my back line would be Javon Watson coming out and Liam Moore coming in. In midfield, right? Because remember now, I'm going to be very offensive. In midfield, I am going Speedy. I am going Grant. All right. That's a 2. So now my top 4 are offensive. All right. Very, very offensive. I know people not going to agree with this, but I'm going, because I have those 2 in midfield, the 2 that I'm going to play up front, because I'm playing 2 up front, right? I'm playing Mikel Antonio and Shamar Nicholson. All right. The other 2 players that I need to figure out how Leon Bailey starts, and I start in Kemar Roof. That's what I would do. So the changes I'd make to my team is bringing Antonio, bringing Antonio, bringing Moore, and bringing Bailey. All right. Some person are saying that they would not start Roof. So Low and Moore. Yeah. Yeah. Now during the relegation, we know the coach didn't say I can, so I can make change. He said I need to change things. Took players out and change formation and tactics. All right. Blake Moore, Brown, Grant, Rafael, Speedy, Roof, Bailey, Antonio, and Bowser. So 1, 2. Okay, so this person has Low out. I know people will want to say Roof must start, but I don't know. We use the same formation as the last game. He would only realistically play at striker, and for me, Antonio is a must start for this game. His style was counter attack. His static was a low block. All right. For me, more. For me, it's more for Flemo, Ravel for Haka, and Antonio for Bowser. All right. All right. Interesting. Interesting. You can't drop Bowser because you need his. Yeah, well, I have Bowser in my starting 11. Roof will be. Roof will be in the 11. Roof. Roof can come on if Antonio doesn't perform. Simple as that. So why Roof can start and Antonio come on? This is a very good point. Only Blake and Lawrence has played all the games so far. Yeah. Listen, I agree with you, Shatter, that I don't know how you bench Roof, given how he has been performing. Like, if Roof is bench, it's just because we rate a baller. Like, what has Roof not been doing? Like, he has been one of the best players in the last window. So, you gonna bench him? I don't know. Oh, Fresh got it in here. No, man. Remember that the guest that we're having is. So let me tell you, we have an interview. The interview, cause this is a short show, you know. We won't be long. We go awaiting on Coach Miller to come on and thing. But this is gonna be a short show. We having Neville Oxford at 2:45 today, and then we're gonna have our official when the birds are coming in 6:30. So later this evening at 8, we're gonna give you what has been happening in terms of lineup, right? 8:30 this evening. But we have Neville Oxford coming on at 2:45 today to share his story. So we had to move the show earlier because of that. Yeah. Management as fan and baller, no one can predict results from any game. Things can right or left at that point. What the team needs is unity, strengthening, and focusedness. Hold on, what is it? That's a FIFA team, in my opinion. You could do damage on FIFA with that team, but in real life, Jamaica getting slapped up might be dream. In my team, no. All right. I think my team is a good team. Maybe because you're not seeing it. Monse Anthony is world class. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So why would you? All right. So people. All right. Let's do this. Let's see if we can select a starting team. What do you think is the formation? All right. So what is 4-4-2? Somebody saying 4-4-2. Coach Miller. Um, well, I know you don't like to get into these things, but all right. So let me do it this way. I think we should deploy 3-5-2. That is my. That is what. If I were Coach Whitmore, I would go with a 3-5-2. All right. So let's see if we can find the 3-5-2 formation. Let's see if we can do that. 3-3-5-2. 3-5-2. So we're going to select an 11 using 3-5-2. I think given the personnel that we have, I think this would be the best. Um, this would be mine, and this is just my thought. All right, 3-3-5-2, which is a similar formation from the last game. All right, so let's see if we can share the screen, and the intelligent fan base that we are going to pick a starting 11, because there are certain positions that we already know exist. Like we know who those players are going to be. So in goal, we know that Andre Blake is going to start. All right. All right. So that's a sure. Um, I would go Damian Lowe on the right. I would go Damian Lowe on the right at the defense. This is how I would set up people. I'd go Adrian Mariappa as far as leadership at the core of my defense, and Liam Moore on the left of my defense. I'll go Kemar Taxi Lawrence over here. All right. And I'm going to start back O'Neill Fisher. That's just me. Some of you may different, then we can look at that. But right now, it is how these players here are positioned, which is going to be the problem. All right. Now, woo. All right. Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant. I'm going Anthony Grant. What do you think so far? Let me see what. Let me see what do you think so far, people. Yeah. What do you think about that starting level so far? All right, because up front, I am going, and I need you to help me with this. Up front, I am going as the point. I think I'm going as the point person. I'm going Bowser up here, Shamar Nicholson. I mean, they can interchange, I think, and Mikel Antonio. What do you think so far, people? Coach Miller, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Every time, man, every time. Give us some coaches education now, Talk to us. I know you don't normally pick starting 11, so I will ask you to do that. So, but this is how I would personally set up the team because I want to keep a level of consistency. Um, but one, I want to at least in the first half, you know, don't give up any advantage in terms of not leading or not, the game or losing out in the game. And then, depending on what the scoreline is, I give myself the opportunity of inserting more offensive minded players to look for the win in the second half. That is how I would approach this particular game. Very,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But go ahead, you're the expert, I am an egg expert and you're an expert. So go ahead.
No, it's not. It's not about expert, the game. We don't have any right or wrong way about it. It's just how our coach feel about his team, his belief, philosophy he wants the game to play. So,
Yeah.
this 11 not about 11, but personally, when you look at the starting 11 from the last game, this would have been basically perfect to keep a lot of the players together, so you don't kind of mess up what they're trying to build. But for me, I would rather go with Roof. If you look at what we have gotten, yes, Bowser scored a couple goals for us, but if you look at what we're getting from Roof, I would personally go with him for the start.
Instead of Shamar.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
okay.
again, now you could basically go right back to the switch that we made in terms of the 4-4-1-1, and you wouldn't lose much. Even though, yes, Bowser can play as that one behind the striker.
Okay. But the problem I have though is like who do I play in the middle of the park beside Grant? That is where I struggle with this team. Like if you play the formation, Speedy,
For me,
we go
for me, it's a no-brainer. Um, Speedy is a must. We have seen what he has done. His defensive work, him helping us to try at moments to play out at the back. So him and Grant have a good combination going. So I wouldn't pull that apart, and I would just add a Ravel to that. Reason for that being we have been coming under a lot of pressure defensively, conceding um, a lot of goals. So you want persons who can help us to keep the ball a little bit longer, so we can play a little bit high up the pitch, progress the ball a little bit better. So I would go for Ravel.
okay. So you think this is a good I mean, of course you don't know what is happening in training, what is going on through the coach's mind. But you think we could get some good, offensive play from this sort of team and also be solid enough defensively.
Yeah, and that's just from public knowledge. What we know of the players. We don't know what they are like in the Jamaica training, because that makes up for a lot. You don't know what they do. So, yes, we know what they do in the club, but when they come together for even a 1 or 2 session, you remember now, the coach most likely going to select a team based on what he's seeing in training. So it doesn't matter that much what you're doing in your club, because you can be doing whatever you want at your club, but when you come to the coach here, what
It
he's
don't work.
expecting, yes, you understand. So again, I said that's always a coach's decision based on what he wants.
Okay. That's a very, very, very solid point. This is why I need experts like you to discuss. But what about the defense? You see how I set up the defense with, would you use Mariapa in that position or you let Liam Moore or how it is now, it is fine. Because some people have even, I remember I was talking to one former player and he said that he would start Bobby Reed over O'Neal Fisher. But I was saying that O'Neal Fisher still like he's not great, he's not the greatest, but he did play well in the last game when he
Um,
played in this position. But they were suggesting
yeah.
that Bobby Reed could offer us more going forward.
All right. For me personally, it's not assessing a player based on just a one game. All right. A lot of times you just have to look at a series of games and try to understand the game on a whole. So for Fisher, if you remember our Serbia game, he didn't play bad. If you remember the Serbia game in which he played something similar to that in terms of that position where he had the license to go forward. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
then
is true.
he came around. So, but if you probably assess him on a game that he's playing
Poorly.
right,
Oh, right.
fullback,
Fullback, right. With a back
yes,
four.
yes. So that makes a big difference, playing in a back four and playing as a wing half or a wing back. It makes a big difference because the responsibilities are a bit different. You understand? And again, it's about how the coach wants it, because he could be playing in the back four and the coach asks him to be a lot more offensive. So it's down to the responsibility. So from my assessment, in playing high up the pitch is not a bad pick. And as you see from the last game, wonderful goal. And the performance wasn't bad. So I personally wouldn't take him out.
Okay. And you know what? I realize that we tend to even in the last game, he tend to be higher up the pitch than Kemar Lawrence on the other side. So could it
Yeah,
be that when
because Lawrence started in the back. Remember, we started 3-5-2, So Lawrence was in the back three.
okay,
So it
because
was Lawrence, Low, and Mariappa.
okay, because I was wondering, like when Fisher goes up, right? Lawrence just
Mm-hmm.
comes around, like in this formation. If Fisher is attacking, we really have a back four because Lawrence comes up. You understand me? Would just fit back into a back four, while Fisher plays high up the park. So Low
Yeah.
would
But
almost like
again,
become a right back,
that would sound like we attacking in
primarily on one
a
side.
same. No, well, like probably like we attacking shape would have be 4-4-2 based on what
Right.
you're saying.
Yeah.
So as I always say, the structure is very important in terms of what you are going to get from the players in terms of the responsibility. Because the structure can be, yes, a 3-5-2 structure. So if you push up Taxi and you push up Fisher, you would get a 3-5-2 if they join the midfield line.
Right.
If they
Okay.
join the front line, you get 3-3-4. So it depends on the structure. And as you said, if you swing around Taxi, you may get a 4-4-2 structure. So it all depends on what the coach wants. We can always stay here and say whatever, but it's what the coach wants. We may see it at a club or around us in a certain way and we like it and want that. But again,
But how do you
it comes
create
down to the
width
coach.
in a system like this? Yeah, because
Which can
no,
be created in many, many different ways. Because, all right, if we go back to the principles of play now, we want to penetrate. So, the first principle that. And if teams are compact centrally and we can't penetrate, the only way we can have them to spread out horizontally is to provide width. So how you provide the width is dependent on what the coach wants, the system, the structure, the type of players. So there are many ways. You understand? So we could say, all right, push up Taxi, push up Fisher, and we'll get width that way. It can be a situation where we say, all right, push up Fisher on that side, push Ravel wide in a 4-4-2, and we still have width. You understand?
okay,
You can say,
okay,
all right, we're going to a 4-5-1, push Antonio wide or push Roof wide and bring up Fisher, and we still have 4-5-1, and we have width from probably a Antonio or a Roof plus a Fisher. So it all depends on what the coach wants. And these normally come down to the approach. So, a coach wants to go in a game, play safe, play behind the ball, try to get a goal, away from home. So there are different variables. You can't stand outside and, and tell.
Yeah, and it also depends. Because it also depends on what he's going to do with like your midfield. Is it that you're
Yeah.
going to play if you use this formation? Do you play it with a triangle with a person at the top of it and two sit at the
Yes,
base?
so
Or,
even that, so it can be a double pivot or a single pivot. It all depends on what. And as well, it can differ in the attacking phase and the defensive phase. So you can attack with a single pivot, yeah, and defend with a double. So with how we defend, for me, I would attack with the double. How we play, I would attack with the double and defend with the double. So I'd push Speedy a little bit up more, or it depends, because I don't think Grant fetch a lot in terms of our build-up play. So probably we would need both him and Grant there to progress the ball forward, and then
right.
probably can join later. But defensively, I think we need a double pivot.
Defensively, even though you're using the 3-5-2, you may still need a double pivot.
Yes, I think so, because for the 6 games, defensively, we're giving up a lot of shots. Probably like 95 shots for the 6 games against us. And
6 games.
yeah, 95 shots against us. And then 36 were on target.
Whoa.
Basically,
So we have
we're giving it.
6 shots on target per game.
Yeah, that's average, yeah.
And how much do we get on target per game?
We on target per game, it's basically 2.8, because we have 17 shots on target out of 49. So 49 shots for the 6 games, only 17 on target.
So shots on target for the opponent almost more than double ours.
Huh?
Shots on target for our opponents.
Yeah, for our opponents.
More than double ours.
Yeah. But the thing about it now, when we look at El Salvador, offensively, they are worse than us. They don't really have a lot of shots. They have what? 43, so we have basically 20 more shots than them. So they average what? 7 point something shots per game. Only 10 shots on target. So basically 1 point something shot per game on target. And that is why they only have 2 goals.
And they have conceded just as much as Jamaica.
Yeah, we concede 8, they concede 7.
Okay.
So probably that's the only stats.
Because I hear people saying El Salvador playing good, I don't know where they get
They play good football. Because let me tell you this. And that is why I said in terms of squad selection, I would definitely go for a Ravel in midfield to join Speedy and Grant. I think only 3 teams out of the 6 games, only 3 teams have had more possession than them, which the 3 teams are Panama, Mexico, and Costa Rica. So they outpossess Canada and USA.
Okay.
Yeah. So they keep the ball well. Just that they are not creating a lot of chances. They don't create a lot of chances, but they keep the ball well. And for us, that can be a problem, because we're giving up a lot of shots also. So probably the opponents just not giving them the opportunity to shoot. But for us, I think we need to probably, for me, yeah, we need to keep the ball better. And the longer we can have the ball, and that's just my personal preference, the harder it is for the opponent to score on us. If they don't have the ball, they can't score. It's not like boxing where you can punch and I can punch at the same time. One ball, if I have it, you have to defend. So I think we need to have better ball care. And
some persons, which is what some persons are saying. Listen, so this is my dilemma, right? You know what my dilemma is? I really think, given what I've seen of El Salvador in terms of their height and their inability to kind of defend long balls, especially crosses and things. And one of their tallest central defenders are going to be out for this game. I was thinking that having Bowser with Antonio would create more of a challenge for them. But I also believe that Roof's supposed to start.
And you can get the same thing. So again, for me, it's not a big deal in terms of the front two if he's going to use 2 or 3, whatever. You know?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, they are short or whatever. Quite a few of the goals that they concede come from set pieces. They don't defend.
Right, they don't defend. Right. And the player, so they normally have this, I forgot his name, but he normally wins most of their headers. And he's not playing. So I'm thinking, you know, like first, second ball, you know, I know that Antonio is also very, very good. Yeah. But one of the issues we have had is not that Bowser doesn't win the first ball, is that we are not, there's too much space between the first ball and who's supposed to get the second ball then.
Jacobs.
You understand?
What's a player? Jacobs or something like same name?
Yeah.
Or Jacob or something like so, yeah. He got red card the last game.
Got red carded. Yeah. Right. And he normally wins a lot of their headers. So I'm wondering if that we could use that to our advantage.
Yeah, definitely. So again, we need to create because they concede free kicks, they concede a lot of penalties, they give away a lot of corners. So set piece can be a way out for us. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It all depends on, as I said, what the coach needs. But they give up a lot of chances. It's just for us to go in, create some chances and see if we can get some goals. Because they're giving up chances.
Yeah, well, you know, like I say, I hope one of the things I'm glad about, coach, is that at least the team is there. They have had enough sessions. You understand me? There seems to be less, at least at the last few cycles a game, there have been less administrative blunders.
Yeah.
We have heard about less factions and disunity in the team. So all of those intangibles, I think, you know, give me a little bit more hope than even the Honduras game. I feel like we're getting to a better place. And I know that we are not consistent yet, but I hope that probably with a couple more additions, I could see like a Jamalo being called back with these crop of players. But I don't think there's a need to add, you know, like 5-10 more players or to be in touch. I think this group of players now,
this group is good. Yeah, like the
pool. The pool right now. And if you can say, all right, let's go up to 27 and call Jamalo, Eason Pinnock, and probably who else? I don't know. Probably Tyreek McGee as an example, or somebody else. I don't know. But I think this should be the pool of people that we try to keep together going ahead. So at least we have a consistent squad for the duration of the campaign. Of course, unless there are injuries and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's just for us, as I say, it's just for us to go out there and just try and make use of chances. I doubt they will prevent us from creating chances. As I said, they're giving up basically over 3 shots on target per game. So if we can get at least 2 and make use of them, then we could be in for good business.
Yes, Owen is saying that DJ Low and Pinnock would probably complete the squad. That's Daniel Johnson, Jamal Low, and Eason Pinnock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would complete the squad, which would bring it up to 27 players. You know. But yeah, so I mean, we're like looking forward to the game. Like I said, you know, a win here. I mean, we're not underestimating El Salvador, but I think if we don't get a positive result in this game, it could hamper the progress of the team significantly in terms of qualifying. You know, given the rest of fixtures that we have left. I know that
we don't.
mathematically there would still be a chance, but I just think it makes it more difficult.
Yeah, because without a positive result in this game, it going definitely dampen spirits. You know what I mean? So you want to continue on the momentum that we already have. Or that four points on the last two games. Yeah, so we just probably need another two wins and a bounce and win good business.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So someone was we're asking a question earlier. Maybe I can further help too. When people say, because this thing has been banded about style of play, style of play. We need to have a style of play.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have a style of play. All right. And some people say philosophy. Some say style of play. What is are there style of plays in football, and what are the style of plays?
Style of play in everything when it come on to the game, we have to split up the game in the phases. So we have the attacking phase, the defensive phase, and then we can further break down that into attacking transition, defensive transition. So in terms of attacking style of play, you have the possession base, you have the direct, which we call the long ball, and you have a mix.
Okay, all right. So when people say that we don't have a style of play,
Every
it is
team have a style of play.
it is not accurate, because even if it's bare long ball we're playing, it is a
It's a
style of
style of
play.
yeah, every
What
team
really
have a
happened
style
is
of
that
play.
we don't think that should be the style of play,
Yeah, yeah.
or it could be that we don't think the style of play is effective.
Yeah, those are the ideas behind it. But in any way, every team has a style of play.
Yeah, say it simply, we don't think the long ball style of play has proven to be effective. But or I don't like the long ball or the direct play style of play. But it is a style of play.
Yeah, it is
Possessing
a
the
style.
ball is is just one of the style of plays.
Yeah. It's just as I said, it come down to the coach. Philosophy, personal preference. If you go back to even a Bolton team and there's some big Sam, Jahidi and them players, Davis, them, him like to play the ball long and play for the first and the second ball. That's just his style. That's the way he likes it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have the coaches like Pep and those persons who want to build it up through the thirds and so forth. So it's all about preference.
And then Stoke used to do the same thing when they had this guy called Peter Crouch. They just
Yeah,
kick it long and try to find him.
yeah. So
It's
even
good.
the Liverpool fans, them love make nice now. I saw them used to play.
Yeah, when
Them
Crouch was
just,
there.
them just change.
Oh, but what Fresh God is saying is that we don't see that long ball often enough to say it is Tapa style of play. All right, and it's not that we don't have a style of play. It's like I said in a Fresh God, I think the style of play is not effective, because to do your style of play, you have to have the ball. And one of the things we have struggled with
is
is
yeah, ball
is ball
possession.
retention.
Sometimes
Yeah, there you
sometimes
go.
that is what confuses us, because all right, for example, even our play in terms of attack. All right, so we sit and we soak up a lot of pressure, but yet still we are still not a counter-attacking team. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So we are not a possession-based team, and we are not a counter-attacking team. So I guess that is why a lot of fans, kind
Uh,
of having.
yeah, what I think about this, because I think also sometimes the transition into the different phases is so
Mhm.
slow. So if I kick the ball, say I am Kemar Lawrence, and I make a long pass to Shamar, who goes up for the header, and he wins the first ball. The man who's supposed to get the ball is 15, 20 yards away. So we end up losing it. So, in other words, we don't. we don't, when we win the ball in defense, we
Yeah.
go direct, which is our play now. But when we go so direct, because we're playing with such a deep line defense,
It's not structured.
exactly. So the style of
And
play is not. There you go.
if you go back to the US game, um the first play of the game, a taxi should have get that red card. That's what happened, you know. We kick off the ball, and the first ball I think it go back to Max, and him went direct to Bowser, I think. And
Yeah.
I think he won the first ball, like went up here, and then he made a second challenge. But the thing about it, when the ball went back to Max, I think like Maggie and somebody else, they went towards the ball. So when the ball played long, we didn't have anybody to play off Shamar for the second ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how we lost the ball. And immediately the transition just caught us. And funny enough, the next game is the same thing we did. First ball, we play it back and we play the long ball same way. So we always remember, you know, there are some basic things in the game that we always have to pay attention to. For example, the compactness. Yeah. And that is why you have teams who they play narrow in both phases. Yeah, because they want to be able to like counter press. So while they're attacking, they are not far off. So when they lose the ball, they are in close proximity enough to counter press. So our team, I think the distance, if you probably look at the distance, the length of the team, mostly in attack, it is far too wide for me.
Yeah,
For my
and I see,
ranking.
and so if and I like that, because if I were deploying the long ball or the
Yeah.
direct play system, and I am playing deep line defense at the same time, what I would do, right, is very simply, I would say to my team, here's what happened. Bam. When you get the ball, say Kemar, right? When you get the ball, do not go direct. Let's go back to the center back, back to you. So we give the midfield or the midfield line to enough time to join the attack, and then you go long. Because if you win it and you immediately go long, your forward will be isolated and there'll be no one to get the second ball and you're under pressure. So that is what you're talking about, that there needs to be some structure.
It not have to be that difficult either, you know, because all right. So the ball play back to the centre back, and you have your forward pushing up. As I said, the problem was that the midfield was going towards the ball from the back line. So that created a gap between the midfield line and the forward line. So if we know that, yes, we're going to play the ball long to Bowser. Immediately, once the ball play back, the midfield is supposed to start step forward to compress that space playing for the second ball. You understand? Then with that long pass now, by the time the ball reaches centre forward, the gap would be between the back line and the midfield line, and then the back line can easily push up because they would have time while the ball traveling. The basic principle, you know, we move while the ball moves. So that would be something easier to fix.
Which means also that, because when you're doing that, you have to attack certain zones with that long pass. In other words, you can't be playing direct pass and don't have specific. So that means you have to scout your team to say
Yeah.
which side of the center back pairing you're going to play those balls into so you can gain the advantage. In other words, you can't play that kind of way and don't scout where the vulnerabilities are.
Because if you look at Bowser stats, he win a lot of those Gerald games, you know.
Exactly. A
He
lot of
win a
them,
lot.
but we don't win the second ball.
We don't win the second ball, yeah, because we don't have persons running in behind and we don't have persons playing in front of him to get the layoff. So, as I say, it's just organizing it the proper way to get the best out of it.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope that these things can be, we can, boy, finally we get some administrative things right this time around. I am hoping that we can get some on the field things right this time around.
Yeah, hopefully.
You understand? Because I think that is, we have to get it. This person saying that the goal we score against Suriname was a perfect direct play management.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, listen, I don't like to take things in isolation. Like, if we do it 100 times and one time we get a goal, I can't then say
See
like
it against Mexico too.
right, yeah,
Was
yeah.
a
And
goal. Was a goal.
Costa Rica was a ball play to Tariq McGee from the back, and then he just turned and played a next pass. It was like, the truth is the goal that we have scored, yeah, as somebody that is true. And even this goal that what his name scored, Brown, not Brown, but the ball was one ball to Javier Brown, who put it into Gray, and Gray to the goals that we have scored, most of them are like 3 or 4 passes at most, throughout the
Yeah.
cup. If you count, it's not, yeah, you know.
I think we look at very few chances to create from build up play. Very few chances that result in shots from even counter attack. Probably for the 6 games we don't even have 10. So I don't know. So that's a big problem for me. It doesn't make sense. We sit behind the bar so deep and soak up pressure, and when we win it, we don't have any idea behind what we're doing. Because
Yeah,
naturally, if we sit that deep and soak up pressure, the opponents, in order to break us down, them have to push numbers forward and them have to spread wide based on our compactness. So we must identify where the spaces are, which naturally space is going be behind. So we now
yeah,
need to find ways and means to play forward and to threaten those spaces.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Coach Miller, listen. Tonight, I'm going to link it tonight at 8:30, because we have a good panel coming on to discuss the game in more detail. I'm supposed to get some info at that time, because really this show was supposed to be an interview. But sometimes I deal with the more mature folks, the timing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had to move this from 2:45 to here, and then have a show at 2:45. So
Okay.
yes, so that's what happened. But our official
Um,
pre-game show will be 8:30 tonight. Yeah, and it's gonna be a big one. We have some, so I'd love you to be a part of that, and we can discuss this some more. Yeah, man. Yeah, so I want to thank you, coach, for passing through. Know you're a very busy man. So when I see you, I have to just try to get you on. Glad that the gadget working this time, because they always gotta get onto the stream. And listen, thanks to all of you who really came on, who stayed, because this was not what we planned, but you still stick and stayed with us, and we want to thank you for that. Remember, 2 things I want you to remember. One, we have Legends Corner at 2:45 with Neville Summit Oxford. He's a historian, but played against Pele, not when Pele was done, but played against Pele in Pele's time, right? I mean,
I'm a frost.
former Kingston College player, you go enjoy this, all right? So we're gonna do that at 2:45. All right, so you need to like this stream, people, and if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, man, you're right there. You're right there in the office, and 5 people are sitting beside you. Just borrow the phone and subscribe to the channel. Just borrow the phone and say, hey, let me borrow your phone, and when you borrow it, you just subscribe to the channel and increase the subscription. But also thanks to our sponsors, Tricknick. They're a Jamaican Oh, right. So you're not hearing me. Oh my. Right. So let me go over that again. Let me go over that again. Right. So thanks to people asking. Coach Jerry's over there from St. Thomas. Yeah, man. So listen, thanks to our sponsors, Tricknick, who sponsor this video. They're offering 25% discount on all their products. Right. All you have to do is to shop at www.tricknick.ca. You also can find them on Amazon. And if you use the code I am sure sports 001, you get a 25% discount. Remember, join us back at 2:45 when we interview Neville Sammy Oxford. I mean, tremendous Neville Sammy Oxford, from a KC player. Um, you know, played against Pele, played. I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you the whole story. He's also a historian, one of the few historians in Jamaica. And so he has a lot of information to share with us as we talk football. We also have a very special show lined up for 8:30 tonight. You don't want to miss that one. So stay with us. Join us. We have some giveaways that we're going to do today. We're going to save them, some phone cards. We're going to save them for our interview at 2:45. So join us at that time. Again, thanks to Coach Jere Miller. Thanks to all of you for joining. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. All right. Please make sure you like the video so you can support the work we are doing here at I Am Sure Sports. We're going to leave with a word from our sponsors, and I look forward to you joining me in around 25 minutes. All right. Stay safe. Eat some lunch.
Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.